God says, "Dear child of heaven, pause for a moment, because what I am about to tell you has been hidden in the chambers of silence for too long. I, Archangel Michael, the one appointed to guard your soul and defend the light, come to you with a message that has been held back for ages. Angels have always carried the secrets of heaven, but today the veil is lifted, and I am allowed to speak openly. This moment is not an accident. Your eyes have landed on these words because heaven has arranged it. The waiting time is finished and truth is now flowing into your life like a river. Listen with care, these words are not mine alone, I speak because God's own voice is moving through me. For many nights I circled your name in fire, carrying your tears into the heavens. You wondered why your heart woke in the middle of the night, why tears rolled down without reason, why you felt a touch from something unseen. It was me, Michael, trying to whisper what I am finally allowed to reveal today. For so long you carried silent questions. You asked yourself, why did this happen to me? Why did someone I trusted betray me? Why do I sense something hidden behind smiling faces? And today, beloved, God has given permission for me to uncover the answer. Yes, it is true. Someone you trusted deeply, someone you let close enough to hold your heart, did something behind your back. Their lips spoke soft words but their actions carried shadows. They wore loyalty as a mask, but their choices behind the mask changed your path without you knowing. I do not tell you this to hurt you or weigh you down. No, I reveal it because heaven says the time of secrecy is over. What was hidden in the dark is now uncovered in the light. Your name has been written in the book of miracles, and when heaven marks your name, truth cannot stay buried. Beloved, feel the weight of these words. Your spirit already knows they are not ordinary. That's why you feel stillness in your body, why your heartbeat rises, because deep inside your soul recognizes the sound of heaven's tone. I know this is heavy. You gave love, you gave trust, you opened your soul. Yet behind closed doors decisions were made without you knowing. But heaven saw it. Heaven recorded it. And heaven waited for the right moment to reveal it. That moment is now. If God had revealed this before, you may not have been ready. Too soon and it could have broken you. But now, after all you've endured, you are stronger. Your prayers in the darkest hours built walls of light around you. You thought you were weak, but in the spirit you are mighty. That is why heaven said, Michael, go tell them the truth now. So here I am, I tell you yes, there was betrayal. But I also tell you restoration is coming. You lost trust but you will receive clarity. You lost innocence but you will gain wisdom. You lost peace but heaven is sending double joy. Every hidden act against you is now being covered by a miracle in your favor. Do not let bitterness grow. Do not let anger chain you. Because the betrayal of people is always the preparation for the blessing of God. Every door closed behind you made way for a greater door to open in front of you. As I speak, I see the pages of your destiny turning. I see angels circling your name. I see God's own handwriting over you, chosen, protected, favored. And I hear the Almighty declare, though they acted in secret, I stood in the open, though they whispered against you, I thundered for you, though they try to cover lies, my truth shines brighter than the sun. This is not to break you, it is to free you. For too long confusion clouded your path. Now the fog lifts. You can walk with clear vision into what God has prepared. Beloved soul, your story does not end with betrayal, it begins with elevation. Just like Joseph sold by his own brothers but raised into a palace, your pain will become the platform for your promise. Do not cling to the past with bitterness. Lift your eyes with holy hope. A miracle is scheduled in your favor. Even now heaven is arranging situations for your blessing. Locked doors are opening. Hearts that once ignored you are being moved to honor you. Blessings that were delayed are being released quickly. Do you see it? Once the truth comes out, chains break. What was hidden becomes the key that unlocks new doors. This revelation is not punishment, it is preparation. Beloved, breathe this in. The betrayal of people is powerless compared to the restoration of God. You are standing at the edge of a new chapter. A chapter filled with pure love, divine opportunities and peace that no storm can steal. Today your name was whispered through heaven's halls. Today the book of miracles turned to your page. Today freedom has begun for you. So walk forward with courage. Leave behind the shadows. Lift your head high because heaven is fighting for you. What was done against you will turn into the very thing that pushes you higher. And when you step into this new season, you will not only see blessings, you will become a testimony. Your life will shout, God restores, God lifts, God never abandons. This is the word I was sent to give you. This is the truth that could not stay hidden any longer. And from this day forward, you will know betrayal was not your ending, it was the opening of your miracle. Beloved, you do not need to defend yourself against the weight of their actions because heaven has already settled the case on your behalf. Archangel Michael says, the fight was never yours to begin with, it has always been in the hands of the one who formed you. Your only task is to stay in alignment, to remain in the posture of trust, for God has already declared the verdict, victory is yours. Listen closely because this is where your story begins to shift. What once felt like loss will now be revealed as divine preservation. What once felt like rejection will now be seen as redirection. For God says, I never take without giving, I never close without opening, every hand that let go of you only made space for the right hands to hold you. Beloved, this is not punishment, it is preparation. Do you remember the nights you cried wondering why certain doors never opened even though you gave your best? Heaven whispers that those doors were barricaded not because you were unworthy but because behind them sat traps that would have delayed your destiny. You were protected in ways you did not understand, and now those hidden protections are being revealed as proof of God's faithfulness. Beloved, I see the heaviness you carried, the burden of betrayal pressing on your spirit like an anchor. But hear me today, that anchor is being cut loose. You are stepping into waters that were always meant for you, and this time nothing will pull you back under. Archangel Michael says, the storms that tried to drown you will now serve as the waves that carry you forward. What was sent to sink you will instead lift you higher. And now God is drawing your attention toward the people He is aligning with your journey. These are not temporary companions. These are not seasonal pretenders. These are covenant carriers, hearts shaped in truth, hands trained to build alongside you. You will recognize them not by their words alone but by the peace your spirit feels in their presence. They will not compete with you, they will complete assignments with you. Beloved child, there will be moments ahead where shadows will attempt to whisper doubt again. But remember this, once truth is revealed it cannot be hidden again. What you know now is your shield. What heaven has unveiled to you cannot be reversed. You have entered a season where clarity will remain with you, where discernment will grow sharper, where your heart will no longer be deceived by surface smiles. God says, "Do not mourn what has been removed, for I only prune what does not bear fruit. I cut away so that you may flourish, I take away counterfeits so I can give you the authentic." And beloved, what is authentic is already on its way to you. Your tears have watered the ground of your destiny and now the harvest is near. Every lonely night, every unanswered question, every sigh that escaped your lips when no one else was listening, heaven heard it all. Nothing has been wasted. Every pain is being transformed into purpose. Every scar is becoming a testimony that will speak louder than your words ever could. Do not shrink back now. This is the hour to rise. Archangel Michael declares, "You are stronger than the betrayal, greater than the disappointment, higher than the deception." Do not measure yourself by what they did to you, measure yourself by the hand that has kept you, by the grace that has lifted you, by the love that still surrounds you. Beloved, your story is not defined by the chapter of pain, it is defined by the author who writes every page of your life with intention. God says, "Watch how I turn what hurt you into what heals others, watch how I make your testimony a beacon for those still trapped in silence. Watch how I crown you with favor in the very place where you were once cast aside. The very ones who doubted you will witness your rise. The very ones who whispered against you will have no choice but to acknowledge the light upon your life. And yet, beloved, you will not carry bitterness into your blessing. You will rise with compassion, for the weight of your destiny is too great to be burdened with resentment. Lift your eyes, for the horizon is already glowing with new dawn. The old season is over, and though its echoes may still linger in your memory, they hold no power over your steps. You are moving forward, unchained, unveiled and unstoppable. Beloved child, let this truth anchor in you: you are chosen not because of perfection but because of purpose. You are loved not because of what you have but because of who you are. You are carried not because you are weak but because heaven has destined you for heights your own strength could never reach alone. Archangel Michael says, "Step boldly now. Step with confidence. Step with the knowledge that you are not walking into uncertainty but into a future already secured by divine hands." Beloved, your season of clarity has begun, and nothing, no shadow, no betrayal, no voice of doubt can take this away from you anymore. Beloved, the curtain that once hid the truth has now been drawn back, and you are stepping into a season where nothing will remain concealed. The whispers behind closed doors, the hidden motives, the silent betrayals, they are no longer powerful enough to keep you bound. Heaven says, "This is your unveiling." God has seen every tear and recorded every sleepless night, and now He declares that your mourning is being turned into dancing, your despair into songs of joy. Archangel Michael says, "You did not imagine the weight you carried. What you felt was not weakness but the burden of another's choices pressing upon your spirit. Yet even then you kept walking, you kept believing, you kept forgiving. This is why heaven chose this very hour to release what was sealed. Beloved child, understand this, your endurance has become the key that unlocked heaven's vault. The faith you held on to when everything seemed confusing has drawn divine intervention into your present moment. God says, my child, I never abandoned you. Even when you felt overlooked, I was planting roots beneath the soil of your life. While others thought you had been forgotten, I was preparing a harvest so great it could not be rushed. Every delay was not denial but alignment. Every closed door was not rejection but protection. Now you will see what I have been preparing for you. Beloved, the light breaking into your atmosphere is not just for comfort, it is for transformation. The heaviness you felt was not the end, it was the sign that heaven was about to break through. You must know this, the betrayal that pierced you was never meant to define you. It was only the setup for the glory about to rise from your life. Where they tried to bury you, heaven has chosen to plant you. Where they tried to silence you, heaven has amplified your voice. Archangel Michael says, lift your eyes now. Do not look at what you lost but at what is coming. The betrayal was loud but the breakthrough will be louder. The enemy wanted you to bow in despair but heaven has already crowned you in victory. Beloved, the crown upon your head is not made of earthly gold, it is forged from the very trials you endured. And no one can take it from you. The scroll that was sealed until this moment is now opened, and written within it are promises long delayed but never forgotten. Your inheritance is unfolding in waves, peace that restores your soul, love that heals the brokenness, favor that opens impossible doors. Even now heaven is sending people who will honor you the way others failed to. The chapters ahead are filled with companions who carry truth, loyalty and divine alignment. God says, the time of confusion is over. The season of restlessness has ended. Now you will walk in clarity, now you will walk in stability. I am lifting the weight of unanswered questions. No longer will you replay the betrayals in your mind. For I, your God, am rewriting the memory of pain with the testimony of restoration. Beloved, you may feel waves of emotion as you hear this. That is because your spirit recognizes truth. This is not merely words, this is the living voice of heaven speaking into your destiny. The one who wore two faces before you can no longer hinder your path. Their season in your story has ended. And though it hurt, heaven says it was necessary. Without their betrayal you would not have been moved into the place where your true inheritance could find you. Archangel Michael says, do not waste time asking why they did it. Do not waste energy trying to understand the hidden motives. What matters is that you are free. What matters is that heaven has removed every chain and placed a sword of light into your hand. This is your weapon and your authority. Use it not for vengeance but for victory. Beloved, you are standing in the middle of a divine exchange. Your tears are being traded for joy. Your weakness is being transformed into strength. Your questions are being answered with clarity. The spiritual restlessness that haunted you is dissolving into peace like rivers flowing through dry land. Heaven is saying your wilderness has ended and the promised land is opening before your very eyes. God says, "Child, I am breathing new life into your lungs. Where you once struggled to rise, now you will soar. Where you once felt unseen, now the spotlight of heaven shines upon you. I am multiplying what you sowed in hiddenness. I am restoring what was taken unjustly. Nothing has been wasted, not one prayer, not one tear, not one act of kindness. Beloved, listen carefully, your story is not defined by betrayal but by resurrection. You were pressed but not destroyed. You were cut but not defeated. You were wounded but not abandoned. Every scar on your soul is becoming a mark of glory. When people look at you, they will not see pain, they will see power. They will not see the wound, they will see the healing hand of God upon your life. Archangel Michael says, "The heavens rejoice over you right now." Angelic hosts are surrounding you, declaring victory in your name. The atmosphere around you is shifting permanently. You will not return to the heaviness you carried. This is the dawn of a new era for your soul. Beloved, the sun is rising over your horizon. The long night has passed. You are not stepping into just another day, you are stepping into destiny. The betrayal that once felt like the end was only the prologue. The true story begins now, and heaven itself is turning the pages. Beloved, listen closely now, because heaven is not only exposing what has been hidden, but also setting you on a higher ground. The weight that once pressed on your chest is being lifted, and in its place comes strength you did not know you carried. For too long your spirit tried to warn you with whispers, and now those whispers have become a trumpet sound. The fog of confusion is clearing. The veil is being torn. And the truth that once felt distant is standing in the center of your life. Archangel Michael says, "You are not walking into darkness, you are walking into clarity." Every shadow is losing its power. Every mask is falling off. What was whispered in secret against you will now echo as proof of your calling. Beloved, this is not just a moment of revelation, it is a divine turning point. The very storms that tried to break you have been repurposed to strengthen you. Heaven has been keeping record, not of your mistakes, but of your resilience. Each tear you shed watered the soil of your next season. Each sleepless night became the ink with which your testimony was written. And now heaven says, it is time to reap. Do you feel it? That stirring inside is not just emotion, it is the confirmation that heaven has been speaking all along. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are exactly where you need to be for heaven's plan to unfold. The betrayal, as painful as it was, has positioned you for greater elevation. If they had not doubted you, you would not have learned discernment. If they had not spoken against you, you would not have been pushed closer to the voice of God. Beloved, understand this, the silence of heaven was not absence. It was strategy. God was allowing the stage to be set, so that when your breakthrough arrived, there would be no confusion about who authored it. It was not man. It was not luck. It was not coincidence. It was the hand of God writing victory over your life. Archangel Michael whispers again, do not waste energy explaining yourself anymore. Your vindication will not come through arguments but through results. Your rise will be the loudest answer to every unspoken doubt. The people who try to diminish you will soon watch the very doors they tried to close swing open in your favor. The tables are turning, not by your effort, but by divine decree. Where you were once overlooked, you will now be sought after. Where you were ignored, you will now be honored. And where your name was misused, it will now be restored with dignity. Beloved, lean into this truth, heaven has already declared you untouchable. The traps that were set against you have collapsed under their own weight. The words spoken in darkness have lost their power in the light. The plans designed to delay you have only accelerated your path forward. You are not stepping into a season of revenge, but into a season of divine justice. And justice from heaven is not measured in human terms. It is not petty. It is perfect. God says, I have seen every detail, I have heard every conversation. And I have already balanced the scales in your favor. You do not need to fight in your own strength, for I have gone before you. Beloved, take this as your release. The burdens you carried no longer belong to you. The betrayal that wounded you will not define you. The rejection that once cut so deeply has now become the doorway through which heaven is ushering you into greatness. You will not walk with bitterness. You will walk with wisdom. You will not carry suspicion. You will carry discernment. And the glow upon your life will be so radiant that even those who once resisted you will have no choice but to acknowledge the hand of God upon you. Pause now and feel it, the peace that passes all understanding settling over you. This peace is not fragile. It is not temporary. It is the kind of peace that anchors you through storms and carries you into promise. Beloved, heaven has not only seen your pain, but has preserved your promise. What is opening before you is not random, it is written. It is sealed. It is unstoppable. Think of it this way, when gold is refined, it must pass through fire. The heat strips away every impurity, but the gold itself cannot be destroyed. You beloved are that gold. The fire you endured was not meant to consume you, but to purify you. Now you shine brighter, stronger, and more unshakable than before. Archangel Michael declares, from this day forward, every step you take is guarded. Every decision you make is covered. And every door you walk through has already been prepared by heaven. The betrayal behind you cannot touch the blessing ahead of you. Beloved, do not look back with regret. Do not wonder why it had to happen. Every wound became wisdom. Every loss became a lesson. And every ending became the soil for a divine beginning. This is your season to rise, to expand, to flourish without apology. The time of questioning is over. The time of clarity has come. So walk boldly. Speak with confidence. Love with wisdom. And know beyond every shadow of doubt that heaven is not just with you, heaven is for you. And heaven is declaring through the trembling yet powerful voice of Archangel Michael that what was once a wound will now be your weapon. The very scar the enemy hoped would shame you will shine as proof that you survived what should have destroyed you. Beloved, hear this clearly, you are not only surviving, you are stepping into a season where you will flourish beyond recognition. Every tear you thought was wasted has watered the soil of your destiny, and now that soil is breaking open with new life. Michael leans in closer, his voice steady saying, "Beloved soul, every hidden scheme has been overturned. What was stolen from you is returning multiplied. Heaven is not returning it in fragments, but in wholeness, pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing." You may feel the trembling of change around you, the holy rearrangement of circumstances, because heaven has already declared your freedom. God says, "I have not forgotten your prayers. I have stored every whispered cry, every sleepless night, and every silent surrender. What felt like silence from me was not absence, but preparation. Now my voice thunders, I am giving back what was lost. I am raising you to walk in joy that cannot be touched by betrayal, in peace that cannot be shaken by storms." Beloved, notice the signs, those subtle yet undeniable confirmations. The weight that once sat heavy on your chest has begun to lift. The fear that once lingered in your mind is dissolving. The strange peace that follows you is not accidental, it is evidence. Evidence that heaven has moved on your behalf. The doors that closed were not rejection, they were protection. The delays were not denial, they were divine timing, positioning you for what no man can block. Michael speaks again, "Child of heaven, the storm that rose against you has exhausted itself. The accusations, the deception, the manipulation, they have all crumbled. You remain. And not only remain, but rise higher. The very ones who thought they buried you will see you bloom. This is why heaven allowed the unveiling now, because your spirit is strong enough to carry the truth and your soul is ready to embrace the blessing." Think of it, while betrayal whispered in the shadows, your name was being sung in the courts of heaven. Angels stood witness as God Himself declared, "This one is mine. This one will not be forsaken. This one will carry my light." That is why you feel this unexplainable stirring in your spirit. It is heaven's confirmation that the time of breaking has ended and the time of building has begun. Beloved, do not be surprised when opportunities suddenly appear where there was once only emptiness. Do not doubt when relationships realign without your effort. These are not coincidences, they are orchestrations. Every step, every shift, every rearrangement is a piece of a divine puzzle now coming together before your eyes. What once felt like chaos will soon make sense as heaven reveals the masterpiece hidden within the mess. God says, "Do not hold on to the ashes of what has burned. I am giving you beauty in exchange for ashes, joy in exchange for mourning, strength in exchange for despair. You will not walk with your head bowed in shame, but with your spirit lifted in honor. I am not just restoring you to where you were, I am elevating you to where you were always meant to be." And Archangel Michael confirms, this betrayal was never about loss, it was about positioning. The pain you felt was the breaking of chains. The rejection you endured was the removal of counterfeit connections. Now the path ahead is clear, straightened by heaven's hand, guarded by angelic armies. Listen, beloved soul, every shadow that once lingered is being dispelled by the light of truth. The whispers of deceit are being replaced by songs of blessing. Where there was heaviness there will be holy laughter. Where there was confusion there will be divine clarity. Heaven is declaring that no scheme, no lie, no betrayal will have the final word over your life. Your spirit is entering into alignment with heaven's rhythm now. That's why old desires are fading. That's why things you once chased no longer pull at your heart. That's why the restlessness within you has shifted into expectancy. It is because heaven has turned the page and your next chapter has begun. You are walking into restoration, not partial but complete. Not delayed but active now. Michael's voice rises like a mighty trumpet, filled with authority yet drenched in compassion. Beloved, do not look back. What lies ahead is greater. The ones who betrayed you will watch as heaven's favor crowns you. The stone that was cast aside will now shine as the foundation of a new story, a greater story. What once felt like your breaking point is now revealed as your birthing point. Beloved, lift your eyes. The horizon before you is glowing with promise. The storm has passed, the night has lifted, and a dawn unlike any before it has arrived. This is not just recovery, it is transformation. You are being restored into more than you imagined, carried by the hands of the one who never fails. God has declared it, Michael has confirmed it, and heaven is already unfolding it. Beloved soul, the heavens are not finished speaking over you. What you have just heard is only the opening of a scroll that has been waiting with your name written in light. Archangel Michael still stands at your side, his sword burning with holy fire, and his voice rises again with authority. He says, "Child of God, understand this, what looked like the end was never the end. What looked like loss was only a shift. What appeared to be a breaking was in truth the making of your destiny. The hands that betrayed you may have thought they were silencing your song, but heaven has turned their schemes into the rhythm of your next victory. Can you feel it, beloved? The air around you is different now. What once pressed down heavy is beginning to lift. What once sounded like confusion is becoming clear. This is the Spirit of God removing veils that blinded you and chains that bound you. Michael whispers, every lie told against you has already been overturned in heaven. Every word spoken to wound you has been rewritten by God's own hand. Where they marked you with shame, God has marked you with glory. Where they left you empty, God is filling you to overflowing. Beloved, your story is not ending in ashes. No, your story is rising like a flame. Out of the very dust of betrayal, heaven is creating a testimony too powerful to be silenced. The Spirit says, I am not just restoring you to where you were before, I am lifting you higher, placing your feet on ground you could never have reached without this fire. What once threatened to destroy you has become the very path that carries you into promise. Do you see it? The table is still being set before you. The oil is still flowing over your head. And now the cup in your hands is beginning to overflow. This is not symbolic, it is real. it is spiritual, it is eternal. Archangel Michael declares, they will watch as heaven crowns you. They will witness as doors open that no man can shut. They will see that the one they counted out was in fact the one heaven counted on. Beloved, do not let your heart grow weary. Even now angels are arranging divine alignments around you. People you never thought would notice you are being stirred to help you. Opportunities you thought were lost are circling back. This is not random. This is heaven's orchestration. God says, I am breathing life into your waiting. I am placing strength into your steps. I am releasing joy into your spirit. What was heavy will now feel light because I am carrying it with you. Michael leans closer and says, Child, forgive quickly. Release deeply. Do not hold the poison of betrayal in your veins any longer. What was meant to chain you will no longer bind you if you choose peace over bitterness. Your forgiveness is the key that unlocks your next chapter. Your release is the door to your rising. Beloved, this is not weakness. This is power. For as you release, heaven releases over you. As you let go of their wrong, heaven fills your hands with blessing. And now the heavens thunder with decree. This betrayal is not your label. This pain is not your identity. You are not defined by what they did, you are defined by who I say you are. And God says, I call you chosen. I call you healed. I call you delivered. I call you mine. Can you hear it, beloved? The very voice that spoke the universe into existence is now speaking destiny over you. Look again in the spirit. The broken pieces of your heart are being carried into God's presence. And they're the same hands that shaped galaxies are mending what was torn. What was shattered is now being made whole. What was bruised is now being crowned with beauty. What was discarded is now radiant with divine purpose. This is not imagination. This is transformation. Heaven is proving to you that not a single tear was wasted. Not a single wound was unseen. Michael now raises his sword high and his cry echoes through eternity. Beloved, rise. Rise from the ashes. Rise from the betrayal. Rise from the silence. Rise into the miracle prepared for you before the foundations of the world. You are not buried. You are planted and the harvest of your pain is about to bloom in glory. Do not scroll away from this. Do not think this is coincidence. Right now heaven is leaning close. Right now God Himself is whispering into your spirit. The storm is passing. The dawn is breaking. Your season of miracles is not coming, it has already begun. Beloved, you are stepping into a new atmosphere, one that carries favor, restoration and unshakable joy. So lift your head, beloved. Wipe the tears from your face. Walk forward, for every step you take now is watched by heaven. The betrayal that tried to break you has already been turned into the bridge that carries you into promise. The lies that tried to drown you have already been silenced by truth. The shadows that tried to cover you are already fleeing from the light rising within you. And now, beloved, your testimony will not be quiet. It will roar. It will shine. It will declare to the earth and to the heavens that God was with you all along, that Archangel Michael fought for you when you could not fight, and that every weapon formed against you has already failed. This is your season of rising. This is your time of miracles. This is your divine release. And heaven's final word over you today is simple but eternal. Amen.